In June 2016, the Canadian Space Agency sent out a request for applications for 2 astronaut candidate positions. And out of 3,700 applications, only 100 went for basic physicals. 72 then went for both psychological and physical testing. And then at another cut to 32, they went for survival and emergency training. Finally, in spring 2017, the final 17 candidates were announced. These 17 candidates went for a battery of psychological testing, followed by MRI and CAT scans and other in-depth medical tests. My husband, Charles, was among them. It had been a lifelong dream for Charles to be an astronaut, but he was not one of the 2 candidates selected. Despite the fact that he didn't make it, we learned a lot through the process about what it takes to succeed and how to enjoy the journey, no matter the outcome. A lot of us hesitate to get started on our goals because we think they are too big. Yet the resume that brought Charles to the top 17 candidates had things on it that were years in the making. It had been a long journey. Things like hockey, lacrosse, a PhD in astrophysics, a pilot license. And for the other candidates, it was the same. Some of them were experienced medical doctors as well as pilots. Some of us dream about getting in shape or maybe writing a book, and we need to remember that it's not big impulses of inspiration that get the job done, and that we don't need to complete our goal in a day or even a year, but it's really just taking those small, consistent steps. We also hesitate to get started because we often think that maybe we're not good enough. Maybe we're afraid that we don't have a large enough community, or we didn't do well enough in high school or college. Yet we all know of successful people who had been in our same shoes. David St. Jacques, current Canadian astronaut, told the candidates that when he was going through the selection process, he would look around and he could always find somebody who was doing better than him. But at the end, he was selected because he was doing well enough consistently. Years ago, I got advice from American astronaut John Grunsfeld about applying to be an astronaut. I thought an astronaut had to be an adrenaline junkie, rock climber person, superhero person. And what John told me is actually those things are all fine and good, but what they really want to see is a gym rat and a guy who can fix his own car. Because in space, that's who you're going to have to be. And Charles hasn't climbed Mount Everest, and he's never done an Ironman, but he does go to the gym, and he fixes his own car. So when we think about our big goals, often we hesitate to share the journey because we're afraid of failure. We're afraid of what people might think, or that other people will tell us of all the hurdles standing in our way. But nobody makes it that far alone, and sharing his journey was incredibly important to the success that Charles had in getting to the top 17. He just showed discretion with who he shared with and made sure to share with those people who would support him along the journey and be with him even if he failed. So sharing his journey with colleagues and family made Charles feel vulnerable, but doing so added tremendous excitement to the journey. Most of us will never be asked to escape from an overturned helicopter underwater, but through sharing his journey, we're able to experience it secondhand. And by being vulnerable, Charles inspired friends to go after their own dreams. One of them wrote a book, and another started earning money from their favorite hobby, cooking. So through sharing, we create an inspiring world. Failing was incredibly hard for Charles. But had he never tried, you never would have known how far you could go. If we never try, we'll never be able to be part of that adventure, we'll never be part of that journey, we'll never learn our limits, and we'll never get to know astronauts on a personal level. So even though Charles didn't make it, and with any of us who have strived for our goals and don't make it, we're still able to bring that experience and therefore greater confidence to anything that we pursue in the future. This journey was incredibly exciting for Charles and I. And everything that he had done to become an astronaut was not for naught, because he actually had enjoyed them for their own sakes. And in the end, we found that there were some gifts to be had from his failure. Charles will never get to be an astronaut, but one of the things that we got out of that is that he'll actually be able to spend a lot more time with his family. And this has become especially important after the birth of our daughter in June. So please go for your goals. You are good enough. Take that one first small step. Share with those who will be there to support you, and forget about what other people are going to say. And please remember that even through failure, there's a lot to be gained. So enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Amazing. That was amazing, Rachel. Well done. First time speaker.